Good evening. My name is Angie Sarich, and I am in your class BUL 3130. And this is my presentation of my legal training manual for my business, which is actually a nonprofit that I chose. And hopefully, by the end of my business venture, I will have everything I need to actually do this business. My dream is to create Angelique's Home. It's a safe place to stay for the homeless. I just feel like, and I have such a heart for the homeless in this area, in Volusia County especially. There have been a lot of people that I just see on the streets, and I've come in contact with them the last few months, and what I've realized the most of anything of what they need, they don't just need a place to stay. They need a place where they can actually learn to live in the real world. And so this is why I created Angelique's Home. And as I'm CEO, here is a letter that I wrote. Everyone has moments in which they feel inadequate to the world around them. They feel lost. They feel like no one could possibly understand what goes on daily in their lives. We all come from different walks of life, different home lives, different cultures in which we were raised. We all have come from different backgrounds that have influenced how we respond to the world around us. This is why you are here. We chose you for our organization because we feel you have what it takes to be a world changer, one person at a time. You are an important asset to our success, and I look forward to working with each of you to help change lives and show each client what is possible. Sincerely, Angela M. Sarich, President and CEO of Angelique's Home. And my address for Angelique's Home, of course fictitious at this point, will be P.O. Box 7777, DeLand, Florida 32720, and their phone number is 888-777-0909. And we can be reached by email at angeliqueshome@gmail.com. And the website in which we have been created is whereyouarenow.com. Angelique's Home, Volusia County. Who are we? We are a nonprofit dedicated to reaching the homeless community. We offer a place for them to live and thrive and have a real opportunity to excel. We exist not to place a Band-Aid or a quick fix to help others, but to help live life the way they were meant to and with joy. We offer several options to help people to get on their feet and to stay on their feet, to be explained later in this presentation. But here are what we have available: GED classes, childcare, counseling, outside drug rehabilitation, career center, life skills, the closet, and the clinic. Corporate form and regulations. Angelique's Home is under nonprofit and filed under Articles of Incorporation, dedication of assets to 501c3. Registered agent is John Smith of 768 South Atlantic Ave, Daytona Beach, Florida 32776. We have bylaws listed on our website at whereyouarenow.wordpress.com. Please read through them and become familiar, as there are several items that will need to be reviewed and addressed while training for employment. Our board of directors are as follows. President is Angela Lally. Vice President is Sarah Green. Treasurer is Warren Hernandez, and also the other fiscal responsibilities regarding everything that we stand for. Human Resources is Lady Valencia. Head of Child Care is Kelsey Jones. And Head of Medical Care is Melissa Campbell. In our contracts and authority, the board of directors listed on a prior page who's responsible for all organizational contracts and their governing authority aside from myself, the CEO. Please reach out to them by email or by phone in which situations arise that are in violation of our bylaws, which again can be found at www.whoyouarenow.wordpress.com. If you have questions regarding which will be possible reasons to make contact with our board members, here are just a few examples of our bylaws. No client shall enter premises if they're not past criminal background or a refusal of a background check. No client shall be alone with their current sponsor outside the community gate. No client shall be left alone on the street once they have entered the program and volunteer to keep a room in facility. No member of management or member of the team shall be left alone without being in a controlled video area. Please see further examples on our website address provided. In our continuance of contracts, the board of directors are familiar with the kind of organization that we have, and they have adapted different sites throughout the state. The services given have been outstanding, and in the county, they recognize each one as a significant part of our mission. Please email Lady Valencia at angeliqueshome.org for contracts requested. The GED program, it will be under Department of Education and those contracts that are required there. Child care, children and families, so there are several requirements and codes that must keep up to conduct. Counseling is through the LifeWorks group, in which Dwight Bain and several others within that counseling center will maintain and make sure certification is up to par, and we keep contract with them and as they need it to be reviewed. And accreditations, of course. Outside drug rehabilitation is by Start Morcham, and they are continuously making sure that we are following code, that we are not allowing our clients to have any way of possible of receiving drugs within our facility. And it is a zero tolerance, absolutely, that they would even be here with us under the influence. They would not be allowed within the premises at all. They would have to be on a probationary should they come back, but they would have fully go through the rehab center. The Career Center is go through Goodwill. The Life Skills is through the Journey. The Closet is also through actually the Neighborhood Center, who's also one of our partners, and they provide casual clothing as well as business professional clothing. That's free for each member who is actually trying, or each client who is trying to receive a job, and within their interviews and as they go through the Career Center, they work hand in hand. And then the clinic, we provide pregnancy pregnancy testing, and we have ultrasounds, all the way to being given insulin for a client that does not have it. I do want to go back through and just talk real quick about our GED, since we are on the situation on this. The GED Center, Department of Education, instead of our clients, which a lot of them have a problem having to get the bus to go to the school, we provide the people from teachers, professors, from the actual school to come and teach GED courses to our clients. There is not a fee to do so. Again, with our nonprofit, that's something that we're really big about, making sure that is given free to our clients, because $30 is a little expensive for them to be able to even begin, especially if they have never even had a job. Some of them have never seen, some of them are too young to have ever had a job or any kind of employment of any kind, volunteering, that type of a thing. So this is to basically help them. I mean, there was a girl I knew who was in 10th grade, and she is now, in her 20s, and she had not actually gone through getting her GED, and she's had such a hard time keeping, getting a job and keeping one for her situations in her life. But even so, not having a GED stops her even further, and that's something that we will make sure our clients have the opportunity to be able to complete. And then, of course, childcare, we offer that through Children and Families, of course, but it's for our clients who, of course, are working. It's a 24-hour child care center. We want to make sure that our clients have every ability possible to be able to excel and to have, a better lifestyle, and they can, go through and eventually apply for Section 8 housing and that type of thing. So we want to make sure they have the opportunity, the best opportunity they can. So that's why we provide that childcare for them. And of course, we offer counseling. This is a big one. We are really about, in my heart, my passion, and it comes from my passion here, and my management will also coincide and agree within this passion that our counselors are not volunteers. Volunteers come by convenience. Our counselors are here because they want to be here, and they know they'll be paid, so they're going to do their best, and they're going to help people to the best as they possibly have within the knowledge that they have. These counselors will go to the streets and will sit with the people who are homeless or who have not decided to come to the facility. We will not just have them come and stay, and that's another thing I want to make sure I add. This is not a shelter. It is, but it isn't. One of the major things, and I'll talk later on, is that our mission, we want people to know that you may not want to stay, fine, but you have a home. When all else fails, when life gets crazy, we want you to know that you have a place to go, and people that will be there for you. And that's what I want my counselors to really instill to the people who are on the streets, because there are so many people who are on the streets that really just need to know that there is hope out there. And that's the other thing. A lot of people who are on the streets, they don't belong on the streets, but they think they need to be there. And so everything's a gift of time, and we absolutely understand that. So our counselors, like I said, will go on to the streets and meet with them and counsel them and help them work up to the point where they're ready to get through the process and eventually come into the facility and be a part of the community and grow from there. And of course, the Career Center, we'll have about 5 people who do that from Goodwill. And they will actually sit with people, not just go through and say, okay, what are you good at or anything like that, but they'll actually show them how to create an application and then go through the interview process itself. And actually, we will have some outside representatives from other career companies come and meet with these people and show them kind of how everything should work, in wanting to start a career or any kind of passions they might have, just something to ignite and motivate them. And the life skills provided by the journey, basically what it is life skills. It's the things that people don't know, like even as far as writing out a checkbook. Somebody who will come and meet every week with a certain client at the facility. This is one moving from the streets to the facility. So these people are ready to learn how to do life, whether it be cooking, whether it be, even, certain way to cleaning a house. Like they will provide and show them, and also financial stability, teach them how to handle their money, whatever that they need, we have life skills for it. And then, of course, a closet, like I said, provided by the neighborhood center and the clinic. We discussed that as well. Our partners are the Neighborhood Center, the Land Roots, Family Center, the Boys and Girls Club, Teen Challenge Florida, Eddie James Ministries, the City Sanctuary Church, Healthy Kids, Daytona State College, Halifax Medical Center, Children and Families West, and LifeWorks Group. Our mission statement: you don't have to live here, but you have a place you can call home. And our purpose is this: we provide a virtue of ethics community that is about kindness without any offense or judgments, allowing everyone to grow and find value and identity so they can master the outside world. And I will provide everything with the work cited apart from this video. But one of the websites I did use was www.nolo.com/legal. subtraction sign, encyclopedia slash nonprofit, subtraction sign, basic subtraction sign, 29948.html, and then law, business, and society, social responsibility pyramid, page 114, McGraw-Hill. And that is just basically, I really enjoyed what it said in figure 3.2, which says, what is discretionary, philanthropic responsibilities, the desired, like be a good corporate citizen, contribute resources to the community, improve quality of life. And that is something that we're very passionate about. So we will definitely go in this core portion of what this part of the book says. The ethical responsibilities, be ethical, do what is right, just, fair, and avoid harm, or what's expected. And my whole thing is do what's right even when no one is looking. So that is a big, huge thing, and that is something huge for the business that, you know, I want to have, and the nonprofit. And then legal responsibilities, obey the law. Law is a society's codification of right and wrong, play by rules of the game. Again, it's required. This again is all coming from figure 3.2 on page 114. And economic responsibilities to be profitable, the foundation which all responsibilities rest, and it's required. So I also just want to mention about the negligence, you know, because that is something that I did specifically think about. And it's going to be huge when you're dealing with the homeless. Misconduct, you know, slander, you know, certain things, misrepresentation, you know, that will be a huge thing because homeless are very sensitive. They're always going to be, they don't want to say always because that's not really the word you use, but we have to take precaution. And there will be contracts as well that will be dealt with for as far as negligence and making sure that we're following all that within our bylaws. You know, compensatory damages should something happen where, you know, somebody gets in a fight or something, and, you know, punitive damages, that's, you know, another thing there. You know, there's definitely a lot. And then strict liability will be like, you know, cleaning supplies, medical, in the cafeteria. And then evasion of privacy, that's definitely a thing as well, because every client, especially the ones that are being counseled, they definitely have to have, there has to be strict guidelines there, because there's some people who have a big past that they don't want everyone knowing about. And so we definitely have to be very careful about that. And as far as hiring and firing, first of all, our biggest, you know, hiring portion, of course, is caregiving. Someone who has the ability to care for people who are looking for help, a place to stay, food to eat, resources that are available to them. I mean, that's what our biggest thing. Our caregivers and our counselors are huge to our business. And then our HR task, you know, we'll hire someone and use interns and volunteers, you know, for certain things that, you know, I mean, yes, I want to have a huge group of people who are definitely a part of the nonprofit, but I also want to give the opportunity for people who are in college, like myself, to be able to start to see what this is about so they can actually do something in their own community and be prepared and learn how to work in it from the very beginning. I want to make sure that I would make myself available too, and I have other people who will walk alongside them and show them, not just intern, not just volunteer, but learn to become a part of everything. And in order for that to happen, I would want them to have at least 2 years completed, a degree in either sociology or psychology. And internet rules and that type of a thing, it's one of them. I want to know everything that somebody is doing. The histories, you know, that's going to be something that they have to be aware, and there's something signed a contract, both every single person who is in that facility will have to sign. You don't want to have anything, you know, we will probably, of course, we have children that would be part of the child care, so we have to be very careful about what computers are around, and, you know, just be very careful and very take every precaution necessary to make sure there's nothing on that web that does not need to be, especially because we have to be strict with our facility with everything that's sensitive information. Everything is going to be sensitive information that's within the facility, because these people, they've come through. I mean, you may have some criminal background checks. You may have people who have had domestic violence and have been hiding. You may have somebody who has, AIDS or something like that. And or not to say that couldn't be a part of the facility, but if it's something that's controlled, and it's something, again, that we could work with, and by cameras and type of a thing, and zero tolerance for sexual misconduct and that type of a thing, we could probably do that. But we just have to be very, very careful and just very sensitive for every client. But negligence is just something that we have to be very aware of, can happen. Of course, we'll have, even with the cleaning supplies, even, of course, we have our daycare centers, we run medical, we have medicines that'll be on hand. We have to know and take every precaution, and every code has to be followed exactly for every room, every day, from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. I'll make sure that medicines are counted. I'll make sure that every cleaning supply is counted, and we know what we have inventory-wise. Food, keeping food, and how length of time that we have it, and it just, every precautionary thing will be handled properly. And I think really from here, that's pretty much where we're at. Again, our long term is definitely, we want to see it go through the entire state and eventually the nation. I mean, that is something that's very important. And from here, I mean, we're just anticipated to be a success. But on a school note, I very much appreciate this project, because I didn't understand the reality of what I would be walking into. And on a personal note, I'll just share how this came to be for myself. I broke my foot a year ago, and it taught me compassion. I didn't have any prior to this. I was raised with a family that when they saw the phone number go across the screen for people who were in Africa needing water, my mom would have me change the channel. And so when I broke my foot, I was so frustrated. And I just, at one point, suicide was an option. I won't lie. That was something that for myself, I really had to get out of that depressive state. And it taught me compassion. It taught me where people really are at. And from there, after I broke my foot, I had a few months later, after I broke my foot and I was able to walk again, I started a study in which, a girl came by the name of Angelique, who was actually living at the neighborhood center at the time and was kicked out. And I learned sure later that, because of her attitude and that type of a thing, but wherever she ended up staying, she even stayed with me for for a little bit there. And, she can only stay a place longer than a month. She can't keep a job. She's 20 years old. She has a young daughter that is 1 and a baby who is 6 months old. And she just has constant drama in her life. And I just see her. And then I saw her friends, and her friend came, and he was telling me how he was looking for a job. He was living on the streets too. And I said, you need to have a place to live before you find a job. And so it was such a thing to him, like he didn't even realize that was a thing. And so he told me the next day that he went and said that he could stay with his friend, and from there he was able to get a job at a pizza place. And I'm just to see the kind of difference I can make in just a few people's lives, and it's just my passion to do that now. And I've never before have ever worked with the homeless, never before did I ever think that this could be a thing, but it put a passion in me to go to school for it. So this is what I'm doing. So thank you for allowing this project, and for letting this video, because I don't think I could write this all out. Again, I will have works cited. If you have any questions or need me to add anything additionally, I'll be happy to, at your request. And thank you.